The most exciting and underrated Lily White combination of all time has to be the Tangerine Lily White combo. What the Tangerine does is it makes the Lily White cream and white turn into absolutely a beautiful orange. I'm going to show you guys today my Tangerine Lily White project, starting off with this girl right here. She is a red phantom Tangerine Lily White. Now this is a very, very low expression Tangerine Lily White female, and believe it or not, you could see that this is the markings there that appear to be just like regular red markings are Lily White markings that are tainted with that tangerine pigment. The cool thing about these animals is that when they're fired up, it's like almost a really bright orange, deep orange or red. This girl, she's like semi-fired up right now. Her base color is really nice. When she's fully fired up, it's a deeper red. Because this female is lacking in pattern and structure, I decided to pair her up with my male here, Cloud 9. Now this boy is everything that this girl needs to improve in as far as offspring goes. As you could tell from this guy's head structure here, he has a massive head structure, really wide crests with like picture perfect spikes on his crests, and he is an extreme harlequin with a lot of white patterning. So there's a lot of things that are going on here that are going to help me figure out exactly how this Tangerine Lily White markings are getting passed down. Because this is a non-tangerine animal and it is a high expression white animal, we're going to see how it kind of like blends together. So this animal here, we should get a wide combination of extreme tangerine harlequins, extreme tangerine lily white harlequins, all sorts of stuff, all with a red base. So very, very interesting to see what's going to happen here. I'm definitely hoping that this guy passes down his superior genetics as far as like head structure and overall coverage of pattern to this girl here, because she has a lot of potential, but this guy just needs to bring it out of her. So moving on to the next group of tangerine animals, we're going to look at another phantom Tangerine Lily White, but this male has more Lily White tangerine pattern, and he is actually one of the most interesting Tangerine Lily Whites I own. His base color when he's not fired up is a very, very like muted gray, and when he's fired up, he's not fired up right now, he's kind of like in between, it's more of like a really bright break red, like a really dark rich red. Now you could see on his laterals here, the lateral stripe and the fringes in the back legs are bright orange. Now that is caused by the combination of the lily white markings and the tangerine. And of course he is a phantom, so he is missing that lily white markings and tangerine color on his dorsal because he is a phantom. But the interesting thing about him is how bright those laterals are. If you were to see this gecko and you didn't know any better, you would say like, you wouldn't know what this is. It almost looks like a completely new morph. It actually is a lily white, believe it or not. Now the belly on this guy is absolutely beautiful, and you could see that tangerine coloration following through underneath the belly into his hemipene sac there, and his fringes and his kneecaps. This guy is super unique, and I thought, what can I pair up to this guy? When I was looking through the geckos, it just hit me right away, a cappuccino female. So the idea is to produce frappuccinos that are tangerine in color to see what kind of interaction all these genes are going to have together. So that male will actually be paired with this super dark frappuccino female. She might be het for phantom, I don't know. So we might see a wide variety of different offspring come about. We might see frappuccino phantoms, we might just see frappuccinos that are tangerine, we might see just regular tangerine animals, we might see normals, we might see normal cappuccinos, and so on and so on. The list of possibilities is really exciting with these guys, and I think I'm going to be probably the first person in the world to produce some high tangerine frappuccinos. So I'm very curious to see how that looks. This is a pair that I'm very, very excited about. Just imagine what a frappuccino does to the lily white markings and then add tangerine on top of that. It's going to look like a very, very different, unique animal. So these two will meet sometime here in the future. Now moving on to the next group. This is one of the groups that I'm the most excited about, and I think it has probably one of the best, the most potential as far as the tangerine lily white coverage goes, and that is orangutan and this tangerine lily white female. This one is probably one of the best ones I received out of my shipment from Czech Republic. All these tangerine lily whites were produced by a really good breeder out in Europe. I think it's from Czech Republic if I'm not mistaken, but you could see that the color is unlike any lily white that you've ever seen. The overall markings on this girl are very, very unique. She has decent head structure, and her laterals are just on fire along with that base color. So I decided to pair her up with an extreme pinstripe animal that is also tangerine. Now, I wouldn't call this guy a hyper tangerine, and he's not fully fired up here, but you could see that his pinstripe scales are actually picture perfect. They run all the way down to the tail base, and he has very, very good crests on him. A very filled out head crest. His head is nice and wide, and he has a lot of these harlequin markings that's ultimately what the lily white and the tangerine attach themselves to. That's where the tangerine and the lily white markings kind of shine. So I'm expecting to produce some very high coverage lily whites that are tangerine with this pair right here. Very, very exciting. This is one of the pairs in 2025 to look out for. Now, moving on to, I saved the best for last, moving on to the final pair here, we're going to look at another red base, orange base tangerine lily white, similar to this female, except I wouldn't say this girl is a hypo, but this guy is definitely a hypo. And you could tell by how bright and light his orange color is on his base. But this is another one, another tangerine lily white. And you could see, if you were to say creamsicle, you know, the creamsicle Morph a couple years ago, you know, they didn't compare to what the potential that this has. This looks like a true creamsicle gecko. Just the color, the combination of that tangerine lily white markings with that like super soft orange base color on this animal is just exceptional. Now, this guy, he is going to be breeding with 3 different females. I kind of want to test out different things with them. So the first female I'm putting him with is a female that comes from one of my tangerine groups. You could see that she isn't the highest expression tangerine, but she is showing it here on her dorsal and on her laterals a little bit. She is just extremely high coverage, and she does have pretty decent structure. Nothing out of this world, but it's definitely going to be an improvement on his. This girl, the point of pairing these two together is just to produce as high coverage markings as possible. Now, the next girl that I'm really excited about is this other tangerine harlequin pinstripe female. Let me see if I can manage all these geckos at once. But this girl, she comes from my best tangerine group today, and that is from Onyx. Now, she was really fired up a little earlier, but now she's starting to fire down. But she gets a very dark base color, and obviously the tangerine markings on this girl are just out of this world. Now, the tangerine markings on these animals are very, very vibrant when they're younger, and as they get older, they start to lose a little bit of that. I'm starting to see with selective breeding animals that are keeping that tangerine coloration throughout their later years, and ultimately that's what we want to get to, and this will be a key to doing that. Purpose of having this female with this male is to produce higher intensity tangerine lily whites. So the first female was higher coverage, this one's going to be higher intensity, and of course this female has very, very good head structure, so she is going to improve on his because he has more of a narrow head. This is a pair that I'm excited to see what the babies pop out, because I think if this is a incomplete dominant as far as the tangerine pigmentation goes, we're definitely going to tell with these two, because this would be the highest expression of both. So every single baby out of these tangerine pair right here should be the same quality or even higher, and none of them should be normals. Okay, in theory, we'll see. And this last female, another Tangerine Extreme Harlequin pinstripe, but this girl is actually a red base and she is also a hypo. So the purpose with this is to produce red base Tangerine Lily Whites with a lot of coverage as well. As you can see, I am a sucker for the coverage. There's like a sweet point of too much coverage and not enough coverage, and that's somewhere closer to too much coverage because we still want to see some of that base color coming through, in my opinion. I still want to see that red base color coming through and not just a fully tangerine animal, even though that would be cool. But I think the best combination is going to be in that like 75 to 80 percentile of coverage. With this group, that's what we're expecting. And again, as you can see, one of the themes of these tangerine animals is that we want to improve their structure. As you can see, this girl has much better structure than the male here. And that is going to be one of the key points in these breedings, is to improve the structure of these animals, not just focus on the color and the lily white marking. So that wraps up another video, you guys. If you enjoyed the video today, make sure you subscribe. We are super excited to see what these geckos are actually going to produce this year. If you're interested in any of these projects, go to TikisGeckos.com and I'll see you on the next one.